So you've been in a long-distance relationship for a while, and now you're considering moving in together. The key question here is whether you've carefully thought about the possible outcomes and feel confident in your decision. My name's Brandon, and on this channel, I share our journey of overcoming the challenges of an international relationship. Today, I want to share how we chose the place to start our life together and why. When a couple in a long-distance relationship decides to live together, one of you will need to relocate, leaving behind your familiar surroundings. While you might be excited about living with your partner, it's essential to remember that your relationship is just one part of your life. There are many other factors that influence your daily routine. Taking all these factors into account before deciding is crucial for a happy relationship. In our case, we had been traveling back and forth for nearly 3 years. And honestly, it was becoming expensive. Spending $2,000 for a date with your fiance is not sustainable, am I right? So, it was time for us to decide whether we should be together physically or part ways to establish ourselves separately. We both felt, no matter how wonderful our days were, something always felt missing when we were apart. We wanted to continue our relationship and finally be together, so we started planning the next move. Now, the big question was whether I should move to Tokyo or she should move to Nebraska. If you were in our shoes, which option would you choose and why? One of the first things we considered was our jobs. Both of us had been working full-time, but had put our careers on hold to make time to visit each other. This also meant that one of us would be job hunting in a new place, while adapting to a completely different lifestyle, culture, and language. Regarding language, my fiance is fluent in English, but my Japanese was very basic at the time. Finding a job in Japan that solely used English would be a tough task. Also, neither of us had completed a 4-year degree, and the job market was tough for 20-somethings without a bachelor's degree. Not having strong language skills was a huge disadvantage for me. While some people move to their partner's country and attend school while living together, we could not afford international student tuition fees, and plus we wanted to establish ourselves as soon as possible. So being together in one place for us meant marriage. When we looked at our potential financial situation as a household, it made sense for me to keep my job in the US while my bilingual fiance searched for work. Another crucial factor in our decision-making process was our desire to start a family. This was why we wanted to establish ourselves quickly and achieve that financial stability. This was also why my fiance felt more comfortable with me continuing to build my career, while knowing she might take a break when we have a baby in the future. She was not confident in the Japanese business system at the time and was concerned about taking breaks from her job while trying to support a family. She had even turned down leadership and managerial roles in her company to make time for extended visits to the US to visit me during our long-distance relationship. Starting a family had always been one of our goals and played a significant role in our initial connection. I remember that when we first met as friends, we discovered that both of us wanted to be parents someday. We shared many goals and values, which is why we clicked so well. We discussed what an ideal family environment meant for each of us and compared how young families live in both Japan and Nebraska. For me, being close to family support was important. I had grown up spending time with cousins, grandparents, aunts, and uncles, and my grandpa even used to pick me up from school. Every Wednesday, we'd grab a snack and go watch James Bond or build model cars together. We had regular family gatherings for Mother's, Father's Day, Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and even Sunday dinners with extended family. With aunts, uncles, and cousins, our typical family gathering was around 50 people at my paternal grandparents' home. And during the holidays, it could reach 100 or more with our extended family. Having a strong sense of community and support from family was important to me, and I could not imagine a childhood without it. My fiance had visited me several times by then, and had spent a considerable amount of time with my family. Since she grew up with just her parents and sister around, and her extended family lived in different cities in Japan, our family gatherings were quite a culture shock for her. They were so lively that we even had Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus visiting our Christmas parties each year, with all the kids even sitting on Santa's lap and receiving gifts. Although it was overwhelming at times, she loved the sense of big family. So when we discussed where to start our family, She agreed that being near my extended family was the best choice at that time in our lives. Tokyo and Nebraska are vastly different, especially in terms of raising a family. The population density is almost 5 times higher than that of Omaha, Nebraska. Most young families live in high-rise apartments or small houses. My fiance used to live in one of those tall apartment buildings and recalls being told by her parents to keep the noise down to avoid complaints from neighbors. This was something we did not want to do with our children if we could help it. However, due to the high cost of living in Tokyo, having a place with a backyard for kids to play in was really unrealistic, especially in those early years of building our lives together. We wanted to start a family soon after getting married, and Tokyo did not align with our housing needs. My fiance was also surprised by how friendly and supportive people were to young families when she visited Nebraska. People often waved and interacted with little kids, and even when children were a bit messy and noisy in public, they would receive encouraging smiles and words of support by passersby. She felt secure about raising children in a community that supported and uplifted us as parents in Nebraska. Now here's what helped us most during our discussions. Having a long-term plan as a couple. This helped with any decision-making process, including when you're planning a move and choosing a place to live. To determine the long-term goals for your living situation, ask yourselves questions like, do you want children? What's your lifestyle like? Do you enjoy dressing up for outings, going on nature walks, or are you homebodies? Do you want to be close to family? Do you have career aspirations? And what are your housing must-haves? The most important thing is communicate openly with your partner and create a plan to ensure you're on the same page. I'll be honest, there will be unexpected challenges when you move in together, especially if you haven't experienced your partner's everyday life before. In a long-distance relationship, every meetup feels magical, but once you're a part of each other's daily routine, you'll discover new aspects about your partner and yourself. Resentment was a real issue for us when my fiance left Tokyo. Many things she enjoyed, from food to hobbies, were not readily available in Nebraska. This was such a significant change in her daily life, and on top of that, adjusting to a new community, making new friends, and becoming part of a new family required more effort than focusing solely on our relationship. When things got tough, I was her primary source of support initially, and I had to be prepared for emotional breakdowns and occasional bursts of anxiety. These challenges are normal when making a big change, whether it's leaving your hometown or welcoming a new person into your life. Expecting some bumps along the way can make a big difference. This is one of the reasons why it's important for you and your partner to share a vision of how you want to build your life together. Those surprises and relationship challenges are obstacles, not walls. Remember that this is a journey you've chosen to take side by side with your partner, and you can overcome any hurdles with your eyes fixed on the finish line. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it and want to hear more of our story, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel.